Hello and welcome to this live stream. Happy New Year. It's January 2nd, 2024. I sent out a post maybe a week or so ago asking about different live stream times. So I'm trying this out. 9 o'clock here, p.m. on Thursday. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about the blues and talk about some of the releases recently. So here's a G13. I released a video on Clockwork, real fast tune. Pretty cool, really cool, I guess. George Benson. Hey, Eric, welcome. Happy New Year to you as well. So in there, I played this chord in position 8. So we have G13, okay? We've got the root note on string 2. Okay. So nice chord voicing. We can also play that on first 3 strings. That's kind of an optional part in the tune. I think in the original recording, George Benson doesn't play anything there. It's just the organ player plays during that part of things. But blues is a great example of utilizing chords in the circle of fifths, closely related key areas or note collections. So G13 has no sharps and flats if you kind of consider key of C there. So you can always pull from that and use that on that part, have that at least awareness. We go to the 4 chord, right? That has a B flat in it. If we think about the dominant 7th chords in our kind of diatonic system, it really only comes up one time per key center, right? So if you're playing in blues and playing dominant 7th chords, you want to be familiar with those shifts of those note collections, because when it comes to 7-note type scales, there's not really going to be a one size fits everything. And of course we have D7, the 5 chord, and that one we can pull from the key of 1 sharp. So when improvising, I want to be able to adjust, and I mentioned the word awareness because I would recommend to folks to not necessarily like plug and play, just not plug a scale and then kind of play, just kind of have that awareness of the collection of tones and use that to, I think, somewhat inform what you're doing and suggest the the harmony. Kind of a cool concept that you can try on the blues is to take the guide tones, sort of shell voicings, and have an awareness of that and how those tend to move in the blues, right? So if we have the 1 chord, G7, go to the 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, keep that going, and then go to the 4 chord again, keep that one going, go back to the 1 chord, go to the 5 chord, then we go to the 4 chord, and then back to the 1 chord. Here we go to the 5 chord. Right, so if you keep that as kind of the basis going, you can really do a lot with that, and then you can take that same idea and play those tritone pairs right on middle 2 strings up here. But you can create your own solo jam on that, right? So you can kind of keep that as a little bit of a basis of things, and if you check out Lenny Bro, he kind of really had that thing going on where he could create the illusion of different guitar players playing at once, and so that's kind of a cool concept that you can do, is just take a small little thing that identifies a chord, and then start playing some melody and going back and forth. I think Joe Pass also talked about this concept of sort of creating the illusion of multiple players going by just kind of like changing things up, doing maybe a little bit of a bass run here and some chords here and there and all that. All right, well, maybe I'll do a little noodling here, and let me know if you have questions as we go along. Mind folks to like and subscribe. Turn on notifications, all that good stuff. I'll mention too that I have some things in the works. I've been developing the website quite a bit recently and getting some things going. So I'm hoping to get to a point maybe by January 15th where I can have a solid test of the website as far as membership and everything, and hoping to be in full swing by the beginning of February, if not sooner. But if you're interested in testing it out, join the email newsletter. Go to fretprince.com and click join, read about it, and join the newsletter. I'm also going to have a course available that I put together a long time ago, and has the fundamentals of the guitar neck. So I think get a lot from that. I'll do a little bit of playing, and let me know if you have any questions about guitar and improvisation as I'm noodling around here a little bit. I'm gonna mute my mic. All right, playing around there a little bit with some blues in G. So some things to think about. I didn't play the exact same progression each time, and create a little variation and things, and just kind of having some fun with it. Okay, we got some comments here. Much appreciated. Eric says, I like the G13 voicing at the 8th fret on the middle set of strings. Yeah, it's cool. Not many folks seem to use it. I saw that one from Robin Ford. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I could see Robin Ford doing that. I've seen Mike Stern do that, I believe, and yeah, so it's cool. And one thing that you can do, in general, is try to see what chords that you might be used to doing and on the first 4 strings or something, and doing it, up on a different string set. You don't need to spend a ton of time maybe studying like the lower 4, but I would say for general awareness purposes, it's good to have practice that. So yeah, what else was I thinking about on that? Another thing is, you can always kind of find and this is one thing I oftentimes recommend, is find something that's like even more basic, and then start altering it in different ways. So this is kind of like, take a 3rd inversion chord and place the 5th with that 13. You can place the root with a 9. So yeah, that's a few ideas. It's always good to think about when and where, and what time in the tune and what you're doing. But those are some ideas. Jesse, thanks for writing in. Currently practicing triads, arpeggios, improvising over the changes. Highlight the chord tones when the changes happen. Is it okay to just let loose on the scale and forget the changes? Yeah, I mean, when you get familiar enough with a tune, um, you don't want to spend a lot of time kind of thinking about it. Like I said at the beginning, I think awareness um, is a good place to be as far as, aware of the chord changes, maybe where some of the guide tones land, where the core tones are. Um, and yeah, you want to kind of, I think, you want to sort of ride that that ground where you're just not, you're kind of in the flow of the moment, and yeah, kind of for in a sense, yeah, forgetting, and just kind of let loose, absolutely, but just kind of not too tight, not too loose, just trying to um, keep that awareness, and um, but just have a little slight abandon, in the playing. I think that's important too. Yeah, curious to know what tunes you're working on. Um, I have to mention, I just with my wife, we were watching Norm's Rare Guitars. I don't know if anybody's seen that on Netflix. Pretty interesting. They have a lot of folks that go kind of in and out of there. They have Joe Bonamassa on there quite a lot. So I don't know if anybody check that out, but pretty interesting. I'm pretty far away from that location, but it would be fun to check that out at some point. And then maybe to get back to your question as well, another thing to experiment with is to try to play a little, strictly by ear, and play through some changes. You wouldn't want to necessarily do this all the time, but if you've got a backing track, just kind of listen for consonances, and create lines, and see if you can move through. That would be, kind of a, forgetting the changes and all that. Um, okay, so someone asks, do you have a favorite West solo? I don't know if I have a favorite West solo. Um, I have a lot that I enjoy a whole lot. But I was really into SOS for a while. It's a tune that he wrote, I believe, and the solo on that recording. But I've done bits and pieces of some of his solos on the channel, and I really I like his playing, yeah, a huge amount. I think he was just really, yeah, kind of in the moment, really in it, really genuine, I think, to the form of music and jazz. So he's so consistently great. So, but yeah, I'm not sure if I have an exact um, favorite. Um, Eric asks, oh, when you go to the 4 chord, can you do alter G7? I'm thinking you must mean like kind of before the 4 chord. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Different perspectives on this. G, if you're in key of G, going to the 4 chord, playing like a G flat 13 and sharp 9 is a great way, partly just because it tends to like is like a half step above where you're ending up, right? So that's kind of That's a great insight. Yeah, for sure. You can do that absolutely. Yeah, that's a great technique. Um, Eric says, haven't seen the Norms documentary, but definitely follow their content. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that too. I'm sure I have seen the YouTube content, and it didn't really kind of connect until like the end of it, where they were really talking about the YouTube content. So I'm gonna have to make sure I subscribe to their channel because that does interest me. Um, Eric puts in a vote for the West solo on Days of Wine and Roses. It's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Jesse, I've done a few Wes arrangements. I've done. I've grown accustomed to her face. I think the chord melody on the channel. So I've got a few things. I'd like to do some more. Let's see. Jesse practicing a lot of Albert King, John Mayer, Johnny Smith. Awesome. That's great. And I've been getting better at going with the flow without consciously highlighting the tones during the changes. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really important. I was watching a Herbie Hancock interview. He was talking about his time with Miles Davis, and he was feeling a little stuck, in his playing. He mentioned something, along the lines of Miles said, "Don't play the butter notes," So I guess he thought about that for a while, and you'll have to check that out. But yeah, sometimes, especially if you're playing on your own, playing kind of those very inside notes, those real working notes, is really helpful. But kind of try to keep a little tension going. Tension release through things. And even if you're playing solo, as long as you're kind of anchored in the changes of it, I think that works as well. So Eric says, in the spirit of blues, his D natural blues is great, and his West Coast blues. Yeah, that one, D natural blues, has been on my list of tunes to do for the channel. So that is definitely on my to-do list. I believe I did do West Coast blues at some point in the past. Although always like kind of looking back at old content, I'm really tempted to recreate some things. All right. Well, remind folks again here, especially if you're rewatching, if you haven't already, to like and subscribe. This past year, we reached 10,000 subscribers. Really exciting, really cool, and I thank everyone who's been a part of that. It's just really awesome, and hoping things move forward in a great direction this year. I've been accelerating the content output over the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 months. So trying to maintain a good steady output of content for folks. Working in a little bit of some theory explainer kind of things. But I'll get into that a little bit more. Take some questions. There's a really cool ending chord in first position on West Coast Blues version with horns that I can't quite remember. Yeah, there is. Yeah, I don't think I can quite remember that either. It's been a while. But yeah, that has like a really cool intro to it, if I remember correctly. Have I ever heard the California Dreamin' cover from West? No, I have never heard that. I have heard a bunch of the Beatles tunes that he's done and some of the popular music, of the time, with strings and things. But I'll have to check that out. Sounds interesting. Sounds cool. Awesome to hear. Yeah, I will definitely check it out. All right, folks, I'm going to hang here for another few minutes, maybe 15 minutes. New late night time experimenting with a little bit. Let me know if you like this. Like this at this time. New artist to recommend. Well, Julian Lage is a real exciting young guitarist right now. Got I really love Chris Potter as far as just general artists, and so I follow him. I would really recommend listening to him, and so I really like Snarky Puppy. I think it's pretty cool to check out, listen to, and yeah, I'm not too up on like kind of anybody super new at the moment, but I'll have to keep my ear out for you. Need more to add to the playing. Yeah, I mean, studying sax players, I think is really important as a guitarist. The sort of the language, in a sense of the playing, and I would recommend being following the history of saxophone in conjunction with guitar, of course. But Chris Potter is really something else, and so I would try to learn from him. Just even just through recordings and things. So, but also to just kind of go through a whole lineage of alto and tenor saxophone players over the years, even before bebop. Eric says, on Norm's channel, check out the Al McKay from the Earth, Wind, and Fire playing 335. It's so great. Oh, I will check that out. That sounds awesome. Yep, similar to this style of guitar. 335 has the solid wood down the middle. Real interesting stream tonight. Oftentimes a lot of comments on the vertical stream, but so far it's been quiet there. Thanks for the folks joining on the horizontal stream. Appreciate that. We've got really exciting things coming on the website, so I thought I'd mention that. Again, it's really kind of at the forefront of my mind. I've got the Footprints app, which I developed many years ago, and that's an interactive kind of guitar deck that helps you to spell out scales and things like that. I intend to incorporate something called Sound Slice into the website. I'm still in the kind of early phases of checking that out. But those are real interactive kinds of lessons that integrate video with notation and guitar neck visualization. Okay, a lot of llamas. Hello, how are you doing? So if I talk to someone on the chat, they don't see, because I'm doing vertical and horizontal same time here. And some members only live streams and all that, and video on demand. So I'm kind of brainstorming some things. I've got like these different levels on the site where you can start with a kind of basic level, and then choose options that are higher level, and kind of find your spot, which I hate to use that word level, but levels of difficulty, you might say. I'm gonna do a little more noodling on some blues here. Thanks for joining. I will take your questions if you think of anything. All right, folks. Well, we'll see about doing more of these late night live streams. See how it goes. This has been pretty fun for me. Hopefully, it's not too terribly late. Thank you, Lada Llamas. Appreciate your encouragement. that walk up there. Okay. Yeah, that was so let's say you're on an A, so you're in G blues. You're on an A minor, and then you're just kind of going, and you put this little chromatic tone in there. So, and you can put little chords in there as well. But yeah, so it just kind of gives a nice little walk up to the 5 chord, and then it's pretty common to use like a sus sort of sound, which this kind of sits in between the 2 and the 5 in a sense, and then let that tone fall down. So, and then like yeah, D sus 4. Yeah, so basically A minor to a D sus 4, D7 sus 4, and then you can resolve it. So it's a nice progression, or nice little movement on the progression. So I would encourage folks to try that around. Play. There are moments there I played really very basic blues, and that can be fun to do, and then you can add more progressions into it and stuff, and try different things out. That's what got your ear. Yeah, nice. So, all right, everybody. Well, I'm gonna hang here for another maybe a few minutes here, and anybody try out any of the new videos? So I was gonna mention earlier, I've been putting out some videos on the basics of music theory, and so I've got a playlist going now on the channel. I'll have to probably bump that up because I've got I should probably take down the Christmas playlist from my main YouTube page. I don't know if anybody visits that anyway, but yeah, so check out if you're having any trouble with music theory and music theory basics, or even if you're struggling with something, place something in the comments. I'm reading all these comments, and that can help inform my decisions on what to release and what hopefully needs to be clarified. I've been checking out a little bit of some of these YouTube groups that talk about theory and guitar and different ones. So great. Eric says he's been messing with Clockwork. Know that one from the best of the George CD I had years ago. Yeah, I really like it. I really like that tune. It's pretty cool. The chromatic, little changes. That's kind of neat. And then following that, that's kind of, it has a really nice effect to it. That sound I like. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to incorporate a good bit of George Benson, and so I'll definitely be doing more George Benson, Wes Montgomery. Did some Barney Kessel type things earlier this year, with that Crimea River. A lot of folks are getting into that. Accompanying that, he did on that Julie London recording. So I did a transcription and played through that. Who else? I did some Wes this year, a little bit at least, and Matheny. I don't know if I've done too much Matheny. I want to redo the Bright Size Life recording. Um, yeah, Kenny Burrell. I would like to do some of his stuff strictly, um, as like some of his solos or playing on certain things or chord melodies, but um, oh yeah, Kenny Burrell. Kenny Burrell. Yeah, I did Kenny Burrell, Midnight Blue, many years ago, I think, quite a few years ago. That's a great tune. I'll have to do more of Kenny Burrell. I was thinking Barney Kessel, sorry. Um, but Kenny's chording is maybe my favorite of the older jazz guys. Yeah, yeah, he's fantastic. Um, yeah, so I'm trying to cover a wide range. I've done a little bit of way back to Charlie Christian, um, and Django. Done some Django. I did a Jeff Beal, although I don't know if it's actually Jeff Beal playing, but the Monk theme, the original Monk theme, which is kind of cool. I think I did that this year. I don't know. I'm just kind of reflecting on last year a little bit, but yeah, some of the things that I put out. Trying to get really a lot better at recording. I'm trying to get, as one of my big efforts is to get things sounding good on recordings, and I've come a long way on it, and so I'm at a spot where I feel like I can kind of get a decent recording, as far as like just the sound, how it comes through the speakers and the balance and all that. So um, I'm it's still always a little bit hard, but I think it's gradually getting easier. But yeah, so cool. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for joining in. I will be leaving this up for a bit. I've been archiving some of these live streams into the lessons and talks or not lessons and talks. Yeah, it is lessons and talks for channel members. And so check that out if you're interested in supporting the channel and kind of digging through some of the older live streams and things. Check that out. And also been incorporating the video version of the podcasts. Eric says, thought of a great tune for Django. Yeah, that would be a great tune. Joe Pass. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And there's a modern jazz quartet tune called Django. I don't know if it was written for him or not, but that's also a really kind of cool tune. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for listening. Do sign up for the newsletter. I do have some free content on that, which I haven't quite gotten all the kinks worked out on that, but it may possibly be functional to send you to that spot, but it's a little cumbersome because I'm trying to get folks signed in to the website via that. But oh, that's the tune. Okay, that's the tune you're thinking of. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that would be a really great one. I absolutely agree. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. It's got really neat little things going on. Really kind of involved in spots. Neat bass lines. It's been a while since I've heard that tune. All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a very happy new year. I guess I can still say that. It's only the 2nd of the year, so Happy New Year, and good things coming in the future here, hopefully. And um, with respect to the channel, and hopefully everybody's practice and our kind of community of guitarists and folks. So, all right, everybody. See y'all in the next one. See you, Eric.